right, you guys know what time it is. We are live. It is Thursday. Intro music is played, baby. So now it's game time. We're in the locker room. We got an amazing guest tonight. Can't wait to get into so many topics, and this is going to be a good one. So sit back and relax. Let's get into it. First and foremost, let me introduce my boy, the one that holds me down every Thursday from St. Louis, none other than Q the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
What's going on, Coach? How you feeling this week, man?
Hey, man, it's another week to get after it, brother, in the locker room, and you know who we got. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, man. Definitely, man. It's always more sauce to give. Got another legend on the show, man. There's some good topics to touch on. So yeah, man, let's break the huddle, introduce this legend, and get into it, man.
All right. So, hey, we're not going to waste your time. We're not going to take any more time. When you see who I got in the middle of the screen, this gentleman was a bad man. Was a bad man in his day, played at the University of New Mexico, All-American. He's about in everybody's Hall of Fame that you can get into, the Georgia Hall of Fame, the New Mexico Hall of Fame, you guys, and he's got so much game for you. Now, he is the head coach at Division II Morehouse at HBCU. So we're going to learn all about that too. We're pumped up tonight. None other than the great Terance Mathis. How's it going, Coach?
Man, as well. Whenever you say break the huddle, I get excited.
Yeah, man, right?
And you just gave the play right there. Let's go.
Right.
Man, get it. I'm open.
There you go. So let's get into it, man. We're not going to waste anybody's time. You guys, like I said, many of you guys know who this man is from his days playing, but he's got an extensive coaching career, you guys, and he's coaching at a high level. Many of our athletes would love to play for this gentleman, and we're just going to get so much advice and value out of tonight's show. So I hope you guys got your pens, your paper, and you're ready to go with Coach Mathis. Okay, so let's get into it, Coach Mathis. I mean, Morehouse, and it's been a long journey that I want to start with. You come from Georgia, and you ended up at New Mexico. Yes. And that's many people won't see that progression as an athlete from Georgia to New Mexico. So give us the backstory. How did that happen?
Well, it happened this way. I was going to go to Georgia Southern. I was a quarterback in high school. Okay. And if you guys remember Tracy Ham, who used to be the quarterback at Georgia Southern, I was that type of quarterback. And they was recruiting me to be the next Tracy Ham at Georgia Southern. And the coordinator came out to see me, and I was excited about it. I was about to sign at Georgia Southern. Then all of a sudden it went dark for about a month. Wow. And then he calls me up. He apologized to me. He says, "Hey, I'm at the University of New Mexico right now." He said, "Do you know where that is?" He said, I said, I had, back then we had encyclopedias. We didn't have the Google and all that. So we had to go to the shelf and bring the encyclopedia out. So I looked it up. He says, "Well, I'd like you to come play for me out here in New Mexico." I took a trip late May. School was out. It was the last scholarship they had. They offered it to me, and I ended up signing and going there. And the only Division I school offered me a scholarship, and I took it.
Wow. Did you look at any HBCUs when you were in high school, or was that not on your radar?
I did. I took a trip to Grambling State.
Okay.
If you guys know my history, I went to Southwestern Cab first before I went to Redan High School here. And all my buddies was at Southwestern Cab. So we took a trip down to Grambling whatsoever with the legendary Eddie Robinson. And I get back home and I was excited about it. And my sister said no, because my sister was at Grambling State. She's a year older than me. And she says, "We've been going to school together all our lives. Let me have my freedom. I'm tired of being Terance Mathis' sister. I'm your big sister." And they always
right.
So I was like, okay, sis. And that's how it happened. So that's why I didn't end up at Grambling State.
Okay. Now, New Mexico, Albuquerque, I believe, and then you were in Georgia. That's a little bit of a culture shock. How did you deal with that as a young man? Did you think about packing it up and going home?
Well, I get out there and get off the plane, and I just, to To the east of me, you see the mountains. To the west, you see the mesa, and then it was the city. And you don't see a lot of trees, and it's brown and desert like. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then the heat there was like it was on top of your head, like you were in a sauna. It was so hot, no humidity whatsoever, and it was
Yeah.
hot. So the adjustment, and then we were almost a mile high, so the altitude got you as well. So that adjustment, it took me a while to adjust. I say it took probably 2 or 3 months for me to adjust to the culture, not the
Yeah.
culture, but more the atmosphere than anything.
Right.
And then, you know, y- a little bit of history about me. I was born in Detroit, lived there until I was 12. Then we moved to Georgia. So it's kind of how God makes things work for me. So you grow up in an all black neighborhood, go to all black schools, come down here to Georgia and go to, first of all, when I went to Southwest DeKalb, it was pretty much 60-40 white and black. And then I transferred to Renan High School where it was like 80-20 white to black. And then I venture out to New Mexico, and then you have Hispanics and Indians whatsoever. And there's not most of the blacks are the athletes and come from the base. So I got a chance growing up to be in environments where I had to adapt. And I adapt quickly there. Not because, I went out and tried to adapt. The people there brought me in and helped me adapt. Not only my teammates, but the community, the college, coaching staff, faculties, all those people helped me adapt to being in Albuquerque. And it's one of my favorite cities of all times.
Nice.
Wow. And obviously, I know they love you out there. You were inducted into their Hall of Fame, one of the true greats in their history. So that's just an amazing story. And I'm glad to hear that you were able to have that experience, such a new experience. So that a lot of you young men, you guys wonder about some of these locations, but you got it right there from Coach. There's some beautiful places out there if you can just give it a chance. So appreciate that, Coach.
Yes.
We're on to our next topic, and the next topic is about your current job. There's Morehouse, and you guys are turning the program around, Coach. And I know that you got the gig in 2024, and there's so much talent, obviously, in that area. And I wanted to ask you, you've got so much football knowledge. What would you say is maybe your top 3 keys, Coach, as far as a program turnaround? When you got the keys, what were some of the things you were trying to knock out right away?
Good question.
Well, that's a really good question. Here's the thing, you hear coaches say we got to change the culture. We got to change the culture, the culture, the culture, the culture. And I get that. I truly get that. You have to change the culture, but before you change the culture, you got to change the atmosphere. And here's why I say change the atmosphere. Because in a culture, it's built and it has these rules and dynamics and the way you do things in the culture, and rarely you let someone from the outside come in to deviate from that culture and try to do something different. So what I did was I wanted to come in and change the atmosphere. And how you change the atmosphere is that you got to till the soil, right? Got to till the soil, plant the seeds, right? And then once you plant the seeds, what it needs water and sunlight, right? So that water and sunlight comes from recruiting, coaching staff, implementing something new and different into the culture. So now once you get all that, you change the atmosphere, and then the culture grows. I'm not saying you kind of take some things out of that culture that don't belong, that's going to stop you from being successful, but you add to the culture now the plants that you have planted, the seeds that you have planted, and they've grown whatsoever, and now you build a brand new culture. And then, in the Bible it says, hey, weeds grew up against wheats and whatsoever, and the man of the land said, hey, let them grow, and then when we harvest it, we'll pull the weeds out, and burn all the weeds and store the harvest for later. So what we're doing right now is we're trying to identify what our good weeds are, what are the good things that we do well that's going to make us successful, and what are those things that's choking us, that's stopping us from being successful, and that we need to get rid of. And that's what we're doing now. And the first year, I hit the ground running, got hired in February, didn't get a chance to have a real recruiting season, but we did really well in recruiting. This year around, oh my goodness, this 25 recruiting class, I'm so excited about it. Hey man, like I said, we tilled the soil that first year. Now we planted the seeds. Now it's time to grow, and we're gonna grow. And it takes time. It takes time. Expectations are high. I'm not one to sit here and give you the cliche of I need to change the culture. It's going to take me 3 years to do it, and we need better players. I'm not going to give you all those cliches because, honestly, and being real with you, I only got a 2-year contract. This is the last year of my contract with an option. So the pressure to win now is great, but it doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, wins and losses, those records will be broken and whatsoever. But those men that graduate and walk across that stage is very important to us right now. And right now, this senior class is about to graduate in May. We're probably going to graduate pretty much 98 to 99% of those guys. And so that's huge with over a 3.0 GPA. So we're proud of those things right there. But what we've done in the process of growing this thing is this. We looked at it, we looked at our roster. We know what we had last year, and we said we have to get bigger. We have to get bigger because we play in schools and we look small. So we have to get bigger in certain positions, and well, across the board we have to get bigger, and that's what we did in 25. And here's the thing, that the young men that's on the roster now understand the mission and my philosophy of how I go out and recruit, and it's a competitive recruiting. you know we take it as your job is not guaranteed each year. You have to get better to keep your job because the guy that's coming in is trying to take your job. So you got to be prepared to fight for your job. So in every room, we wanted to make competitive. We did would there be a lead dog come out that room? Yeah. But we want to make every room competitive. We didn't want to say, okay, here's a starter, and we just bring in guys that backups. No, we want 3 potential starters at every position in the room. So now we're competing every day. If we're competing every day, we're getting better every day. Nobody's resting on their laurels and saying, I don't have to worry about my backup. He ain't gonna play. As a wide receiver, you one drop away of come standing next to me. And then that next dude gonna come in. So that's the kind of competitiveness and the kind of environment we're trying to build, but a brotherly, loving, help each other environment, because at the end of the day, one win, we all win.
There you go, Coach. I love it right there. And Q, it's a new day and age, even from when we played in college football. How much time do you think is sufficient for a coach to turn around something in college football?
I mean, it's going to vary. I mean, me personally, Coach, I've always looked at a 4-year window cycling. To me, a sufficient amount of time is fully cycling a freshman class through seniors. That a full 4-year cycle, 4 to 5, that's a true window, right?
Even with the portal today?
I'm sorry to hear you, Coach.
Even with the portal today?
Even with the portal. Even with the portal, that like a 4-year block, to me, that is a decent amount of time to see really what you have in a coach and what direction that you're really seeing improvement in a program. 2 to 3 years, like Coach said, it does take time. It definitely takes time. So that's a good window for me.
100% right there. And we know you're doing amazing. And right there, Coach, as far as the recruiting, what is the hobby? Are you just staying right in Georgia? Or are you kind of spreading your wings further? How's the recruiting footprint?
Man, we're all over the country. Recruit, we recruited a guy, a receiver in 24 class, from Hawaii.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So we recruit all over the country, and we recruit all over. It doesn't matter, you know, if you can play. If you can play football, we're gonna try to find you. And
Okay.
the beauty of this thing is for us is that we get so much film and so many emails and so many requests for young men wanting to play at Morehouse and play for us at Morehouse that we don't. Yeah, we search and we search hard, but sometimes because they want to be at Morehouse and they want to play, you know, they want to play in a system that they believe that's going to help them develop, become a professional, not only on the football field but off the football field. So our job is to get them ready for the next stage. If it's the NFL or whatever it is, we have all the answers to the test. If
I
it's
love it.
life, most of us have lived it and lived it well. We got answers to the test. So my staff, you know, we rebuilt the staff. We got some Bob Whitfield played 16 years offensive line
Yeah.
coach for me. Um,
Nice.
Kevin Porter, who's coached in the conference and won the conference at Fort Valley, played in the NFL for 8 years. University, you know, Auburn University. He was my teammate when I was with the Jets. So we got some dudes. We got some dudes
Yeah,
coming in
that's awesome.
that's going to help us be successful. Because here's the thing, you know, uh, you can't teach success unless you've been successful.
That's facts.
Yes. Great point.
That's
Great point
facts.
right there, Coach. On to our next topic, you guys. And if you're joining us just now, thank you for joining us. We are live on the Locker Room Show with the great Terance Mathis, and we're talking football, baby. Coach is giving it to us. This was something that I saw you guys recently, and Coach, this is just the new world. Obviously, you're dealing with it. But Coach Rich Rodriguez, who just got his job back at West Virginia, said he's not feeling the TikTok, Q. He's not feeling the dancing
Yeah.
and the prancing and whatever memes and things that the kids got going on, challenges. He doesn't want it going on at West Virginia. So I'll throw it to you first, Coach. Do you guys have any limitations as far as the social media with the boys, or do you just trust that they're going to make some good decisions?
Well, when they're not in our care and when they're on their own time, if it's not anything that's going to embarrass the college or the football program themselves or their families, why not? It's just a fun thing to do, and what it does, it pretty much brings more attention to your program whatsoever. You think it's an individual thing, but it brings more attention to your program. So I think that, you know, for not allowing young people to be themselves, it's dangerous. Is really dangerous because of the fact that you're trying to clone them into being something that they're not cloned to be, because each one of us is different and each one of us have our paths. Now, in a structured situation, I get it. You know, hey, this is the way we're gonna go about our business whatsoever. This is how we win football games. This is championship. This is what champions do. But champions dance too.
Yeah.
Champions are
Yes.
on
Yeah.
TikTok as well. So, you know, but look, it's to each his own. If that's what he wants for his program, and he feels that's going to be successful for them, I can't knock it. I can't judge it. For me and my program, you know, one thing that I decided is I got to let them be who they are. But when it's
Hmm.
time to be in that team
To lock
structure and
in.
when it's
Yeah.
time to go to work, we gonna be one. But at the end of the day, we all are different backgrounds, economically, religiously, whatever, faith wise, whatever it is, we're different. But when you put on that logo, we're one.
No,
Yeah.
that's well said right there,
Yeah.
Coach Q.
Mhm.
Talk to me. I mean, if you're a player in that locker room, are you feeling a certain way that you're being restricted on social media, or you think it's okay?
No, absolutely. I wouldn't like the restriction. Coach hit it right on the head. Especially at this day and age with these, these young guys, you have to let them be who they are. And banning that, what I would like to do is even for our show, I'd love to circle back around after this season and see how many of his guys have hit the portal.
Right.
That's how you'll really know, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
how
Well,
you'll
it
really
opens
know.
back up in
Well,
a few weeks.
well,
Right.
but here's the thing, when you win a game and after a game and you're dancing in the locker room, that is a big recruiting tape for your institution.
Huge.
Mm,
Huge.
It is huge because I'm going, oh my God, they having fun. I want to be a part of
That
that.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah,
good
I want to
point.
be a part of
Absolutely.
that energy. But if you don't get that energy, here, but see, and then I got to go on the other side. Is this because uh, I'm almost in at a point of banning phones in the locker room because
Talk
dudes
to us.
come in at halftime and get on their phones. And so,
Mm,
we're trying to figure out a system where we locking their phones up when they come in, and then after the game, we'll have them sitting out in their little baggies, and then they can get them because right,
Yeah.
I say an hour before the game, that phone needs to be put away
Yeah.
until after the game.
Yeah.
Bec-
It's time
And,
to lock in. Yeah.
yeah, it's time to lock in. And what are you looking for at halftime? That's
Yeah.
the crazy thing. So, this social media and these phones are a big part of their lives today. But when you become a professional and when you in a multi-million-dollar meeting, you can't bring your phone out when in the middle of the meeting and go and checking social media. So we got to teach them how to be professionals when they're at their jobs.
Absolutely. And well,
Great
Yeah.
point.
that's one of the benefits. You were talking about obviously yourself and who you are as a coach and a player, and your staff with a ton of NFL experience. Is your kids are fortunate, man, because you're showing them habits.
Right.
If I'm stepping to you as a player, like, hey, Coach Mathis, man, I maybe even I turned to a couple D1 schools down, and I came here to ball for you because, man, I want to play up under a NFL legendary dog to
Hmm.
really learn from the best. Well, that's
Hmm.
gonna be off the field as well,
Right.
right? It's the
Exactly.
quintessential professional, and that's
Right.
what they don't want to say, because learning those type of things, being able to lock in and know when to have a little bit of fun and be
Right.
fluent in between those two areas, right? That means
Right.
a lot, because we've seen a
Right.
lot of guys with a ton of talent, but they don't know how to turn off the party button, right?
Exactly.
And it's gonna
Exactly.
cost you when you don't have that type of discipline. And not
Right.
all, and some coaches that haven't been where you've been, they don't know any better, right?
Right.
They just look
Hmm.
at the talent and they give these kids a way more leeway than they should be given.
Right. Right. Right.
100%.
And I agree. One of the first things I tell the young men when they come in is this. I says, I'm a 57-year-old version of you. I says, because of the fact that everything that you probably have done, want to do, thought about doing, probably will do, I've done.
Right.
I've done it. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. I have never said I was perfect. I am not
Right.
perfect. There's only one perfect man that's walked this earth, and I'm not him. So it's funny because sometimes they come to me and say, "Hey, coach, you may not understand, but blah blah blah." Hey, man, I've been there. I've done that. Here's my story. This is how I overcame it. So, like I said, most of us in that office have all the answers to the test.
Yeah.
Whatever you have been through, we've been through it, or we know somebody who's been through it, and we can help guide you through this. And that's the big step of becoming a man. That's a big step of becoming a professional.
Facts. Absolutely.
That's big right there, Coach.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that. And no, 110%, you guys. This is sauce. This is what we talk to. This is why you come to the locker room
Man.
show, to get this type of feedback, you guys. We're on to our next topic, and I'm excited to talk to you two gentlemen about this because you've been in this type of situation, Coach. Right now we're in that evaluation phase. You're evaluating kids in spring ball. You got the
Hmm.
NFL free agency where guys are figuring out what their value is and teams are seeing
Hmm.
if they value them or not. You got the NFL draft coming up here, and guys are going to see what their their value is to the draft. So talk to me a little bit, Coach, because once again, you've been in their shoes. Give some advice to a young kid that's watching this, that's currently being evaluated, on how to stay confident or how to still believe in themselves no matter what the team says.
Right. Well, here's the thing. There's 32 teams in the NFL. You only can play for one of them. And all it takes is one of them to fall in love with you. Now, here's the thing. If you drafted late, if you're an undrafted free agent whatsoever, you're going to the well to drink. So you need to go drink. So you've done everything necessary to get there, right? So now you got to find a way to stay. So now you got to study longer than everybody. You got to be there earlier. You got to be there late. You got to ask questions. You got to mimic some of the guys at your position that's been there for a while. You just got to do those things, and you got to humble yourself in that situation. You can't say, well, I don't know why I didn't get drafted or why I got drafted this low. I'm better than this guy. I'm better than that guy. Because once you get to the NFL, it doesn't matter what you did in college or high school anymore. It's what can you do for me right now? So you can't live on your laurels of your college and high school years, because you start all over. It's a new canvas. It's a brand new canvas. Either you're gonna paint a masterpiece, or it's gonna be finger paint and stick people. Is however you want to do it. So, and it's up to you. So don't get too enamored about you didn't get drafted, or about the problem is this. I want to get drafted high so I can get all this money. I want all this money. I want all this money. Well, if you produce, you get paid. There's a lot of young men who got drafted first to third round that got a lot of money that's not playing in the NFL anymore. But those guys that got drafted 3 to 6, there's a lot more to them than the first and second round guys is playing, because here's the thing. I always say, as a GM, I want that third, fourth round guy and maybe a fifth round guy, because of the fact that he's upset that he wasn't in the first or second round. And he's gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder, and he gonna prove to you I'm better than them, and he gonna work his butt off to get another contract that's gonna be comparable to them. And that's that dude you want. That's that hungry dog that you want. And because he gonna go eat. He's gonna go eat.
Yeah. I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more, Coach. I mean, how many first round picks have we seen? I mean, especially you were talking, top 10, top 20 that didn't anywhere close pan out to what they were supposed to be. And like you said, the only thing that they really got was they got a decent amount up front, because you're a top 10, 20 player, but it's like you said, it's those middle round guys that have the same intangibles, but for whatever reason they just slid. Those are your steals.
Yeah, those are your steals.
Those are your war room steals. That third to fifth round, and they, like you said, they couldn't set up. They're a bunch of pissed off dudes because it's like, damn it, I should have at minimum went late third, and here I am, the 189th pick in mid fourth round. I'm about to go into camp, and I'm chipping teeth, Coach.
Right, and that was the Seahawks method back, with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll and Marshawn. That was their thought. They got those
in late rounds.
Yeah, that's like, shoot, I'm going to get those dudes that's upset that they didn't get drafted, because you can talk to them when you interview them. You can ask some questions. Well, how do you feel if you don't get drafted in the first 2 rounds? I'm gonna be upset. Coach, you draft me, you give me a chance, I'm gonna play my butt off for you. That's the dude you want.
Yeah,
that's the dude you want. He didn't say, man, I'm upset I didn't get drafted high because I missed out on a contract of a multi-million dollars. He didn't say that. He talked about playing. That dude was talking about being a dude for years. That's the guy I want, that's talking about longevity in the league, and then say, hey, I'll make my money, but here's where I want to be when I'm done playing football.
And it's one other thing too on the NFL level I'd like to mention too. Sometimes it's in the league, it's almost better in some ways when you're a mid-round pick, even later on, maybe even fifth or sixth round, you might be with the threes, but you get to sit back and watch the ones and twos mistakes.
Right. Well, then there's no pressure.
Because if
There's
you
no
go
pressure
that
on you.
first round,
Yeah. There's
you
no
got to
pressure.
digest that playbook yesterday because everything is now. It's no development. It's no any of that. We're giving you first round money, but you're going to have to go out there right now. So you can't sit back and watch the veterans. You can't learn. You're learning on the fly because we paid you for everything to be right now.
Right.
And you don't get that benefit.
Right.
Coach, let me ask you, because the other side of this, once again, we're talking evaluation. So if you just joined us, this is the season of football evaluations, the off season. Talk to me. You're in spring ball. Your kids are on spring break, but they're coming back. What are you looking for as a coach in spring ball that tells you this kid is ready?
Well, I'm looking at, first of all, energy. Does he want to be there? Right. And we're trying to figure out what guys want to be there. What we implemented was when we had our January 15th meeting before we started winter workouts, I said to them, you need to complete starting on the 16th, finishing on April 5th. You would have to have completed 85% of participation of everything that we've done. If you did not, you probably won't be asked to come back in the fall to play. Because now, and it sounds harsh, but then I put it to them like this. I says, we are an academic institution. You miss class, they kick you out of the class and they flunk you. I said, so we're gonna be student athletes. We're gonna balance the scales. You're gonna be committed not only to the classroom, but you're gonna be committed to this football program as well. So right now it's to the point where we're trying to change the atmosphere and the way we speak. Wait a minute, you are a football player that happened to be a great student, not a great student that just happened to be playing football. So the mindset has to change. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That mindset has to change because Morehouse is going to do everything in their power to help you graduate. We know you're going to graduate, but we got to know that we're going to win championships too. So we got to change the mindset. And that's what we've been doing this spring. And here's the thing. Like I told the seniors last year and the team that I inherited, I says, I'm trying to find our recruit. Is he better than what we already have? Can we develop him where he can play Division I football, right? In the next year or two, if he decides to do that, or if we decide to do something. And three is the caveat, does he want to play on Sunday, Monday, Thursdays? You see what I'm saying? So now you may get a handful of those guys that meet the three, but you're gonna get probably 90% of them that's gonna meet the two. And that's how we recruit. And there's no knock on the guys that we already have, because it makes no sense for us to just say, okay, we're okay, we're okay. We're gonna just, just recruit a kid just to feel no. We can't afford to do that, because if that guy goes, if the number one guy goes down and we don't have a replacement, season's over with. So we gotta be dudes. We gotta be dudes around the board. And they understand that. And my philosophy is the best 21 plays. The best 22 guys play pretty much. They play. If freshman to a senior. If you one of the best, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, you're gonna play. And that's how
fair.
It has to be.
That's
It's fair.
Because you can't act. Well, coach, think about it from a player. You know that you can't ask for much more than that. What more can you ask for as a player, man?
Coach is gonna be fair. The best gonna play. It ain't about a guy that's been here 2 or 3 years and is due his time, right? Okay, yeah, but it's if another dude is playing better than you, it's unfair to this program that he doesn't play. So both of you gonna play, but this dude over here may get more reps than you do. But and here's the thing, I tell them all, I say, you all gonna play at some point, special teams wise, offensive, defensively. And they look at me, I say, yeah, you all play. And the reason you're gonna play is the way you practice, the way you perform, and prove to me that you deserve to play. And that's what it's all about. And I tell my coaches, we teach and coach the best of them to the least of them. I says the philosophy in our meeting room is when you tell me a player can't play, I'm gonna tell you you can't coach. Because at the end of the day, you got to find some way where you can motivate this young man that can help us win football games. Maybe he's just a scout team player, but you're going to coach him and he's going to be the best scout team player that we have. That's how it's, and then he's going to work his way up with his confidence and his ability and make it to the travel roster, and then may run down there on kickoffs, hit somebody, cause a fumble, we recover it, score the next play,
Or a
and win a
big game.
football game.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. That's the way coaching is. We can't just say, I'm just going to, well, we recruited these guys. So, so we recruited these guys. Now you tell me they can't play. Come on, man. That don't sound right to me. That don't sound
no,
right.
I totally agree. And I mean, just to kind of piggyback off what you saying a bit earlier, Coach, all great programs, among other things, have this one thing. And you know what that is? It's depth.
Depth. Mm-hmm.
It's depth. You tell me one great NFL or collegiate team that was a good, solid team that didn't have that depth. That's what made Alabama. That's what made those great Florida teams. That's what makes Ohio State. That's what makes Oregon. The twos are just as ugly as the ones, and the threes are as ugly as the twos. That's real.
Hey man, when you look at the University of Georgia, they get guys drafted that was backups.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why everybody got mad at Nick Saban, because Nick Saban was getting all the 5 stars and he kept winning championships and championships. So guess what came out about that? The portal and the NIL. That was all to defeat the SEC powerhouse. And Nick said, well, I recruited you. I shouldn't be recruiting you after your freshman year again. I should be recruiting you for the next 3 to 4 years. I recruited you once. Why am I still recruiting you not to go in the portal again? So he got frustrated, man. And I can understand that. I can really understand that.
Yeah. Totally agree.
100%. All right, you guys, we are on to our next topic, and hey, you guys are getting it live tonight. Coach Mathis is putting it all on the line. Guru is giving sauce. I mean, you're gonna have to run this one back because there's a lot being shared, a lot of open hearts right now. I see the great Ernest Munoz out in Texas. Greetings from Texas, and he's got a young one coming up. We know that Marco's coming up through the ranks ready to go. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and this is a good one for you, Coach, former quarterback. But we've got a lot of young hotshot quarterbacks that are coming up through the college ranks, and they're doing the Elite 11s and they're doing the rival stuff and everything. And obviously, quarterback is such a key position in college football, Coach. I wanted to ask you, when do you know that a young guy is ready, whether he's a freshman or a redshirt freshman? Maybe he's talented, but when do you know he's ready to take over the team and sit at the head of the table?
The players will tell you. The players will tell you. Not only will they tell you vocally, but the way they react to him, the way they treat him, and the way they want to just gravitate to him, and help him be successful, because they're gonna play harder to make him look good. That's when you know that quarterback is ready. That's when you know that he has galvanized a program, and that these other players say, I believe in you, and I'm gonna play my butt off for you because I know you're gonna make plays to help us win football games. That's when you know, because I can tell you this. I can tell you this by just me playing for a long time and coaching now. You can have a quarterback go out and practice and go 7-on-7 and complete 80% of his balls, throw no interceptions all week, and do the same thing in team. But when that coin hit the ground, it's like he got hypnotized and he's a whole different dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
real.
I've seen it before. So it's game experience. It's how he handles the game, how he manages the game, how he handles ups and downs, and how he can and just flip a switch and go to a different level. That's when you know a guy is a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Q,
It's
they're burning through kids nowadays,
mhm.
where the kid may have some talent, but the OC isn't calling the right plays, or maybe they don't have any talent on the wideouts. And now the kid looks bad, and now mentally you lose this kid.
Mhm.
How do you not have that happen with a kid that may have some talent at the college level?
Well, I mean, a lot goes back to the OC with the OC, but most importantly, who is his position coach? What is the good relationship between him and his position coach? Because we have to look at, okay, well, if his completion percentage is down, we know that we have minimal weapons. Well, what do? Maybe we need to abbreviate and change the plays in the sense that because we don't have any burners, maybe we need to start running more underneath routes or 90 routes versus going downfield so much. You make the necessary adjustments, and you help that kid make the adjustments as well, and you all have to meet each other halfway. But if you have a kid, and you always want to try to be as a coach where you want to be able to run, especially as a quarterback, to run things to their strengths, right? So
Mhm.
you might have, like, a guy coach knows, well, hell, if I got a 5'11" quarterback and he's got an arm, but he can't quite see over those tackles, we're gonna roll out a hell of a lot
Mhm.
more than a
Mhm.
6'5" guy, but we're gonna
Right.
play to his strengths. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Yep.
that's often what happened is these
Yep.
OCs, they get in their mind, well, it's my way or no
Yep.
way, and they don't make those necessary adjustments for these
Mhm.
quarterbacks to be the most successful. And that's the reason why you see a lot of quarterbacks, they fail
Right.
in that
Well,
sense anyway.
yeah, I think you have a lot of offensive gurus that say, "Hey, this is my system. If you
Yes.
can't play in my
Yeah.
system,
Yep.
you can't play for me."
Yep.
And
That right
because
there.
you're single minded. Um, if you ever come watch us practice whatsoever, you're gonna go, "What kind of offense is that?" We do multiple things because of the fact that we got to find the best fit for our quarterback
There you
to
go.
make sure he can
Mm.
run the system, and then we have to, we can go out and recruit for a certain system, but if they're not able to do it, we got to be smart enough to change that system to
There
fit
you go.
our personnel.
There
and
you
and
go.
and and that's what we're doing this spring. We know we're gonna get bigger when the guys come in August. But for this spring, we have to change what we've done in the fall to be successful offensively because we're not big up front.
And
You
don't have
know,
two huge tackles. Exactly.
exactly.
I'm with you, coach.
So we have to do things differently right
Yeah.
now to be successful.
Yeah.
So we get it. You got to understand. Like I told you, we have so much experience on every level that we come together and we say that we can fix it. And it's
Yeah.
not one way to do it. It's not, it's like, hey, what do you think, guys? Well, okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
Okay, if it don't
Yeah.
work, we're smart enough to adapt and adjust. So that's what I love about my staff. This staff that I'm putting together right now. I love this. The communications with them is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that,
And
coach.
that's the dopest. That's the dopest staff to play for that can be a chameleon, because
Yeah,
great coaches are not bullheaded.
yeah,
They're always gonna help whether it's
hmm
offense, defense, to figure out how we can be the most efficient and
right,
how give us our best shot to win. Like coach
right,
just said, and hopefully you high school coaches are listening and can run this back if you're not with us live. Same thing coach was saying. Maybe we don't have two Jonathan Ogden size
right,
tackles, right?
right,
But that's
right.
fine, because what are we going to do, coach? We going to 90 route him to death and get
Mm.
that ball out of his hands.
We're gonna get
We
that
don't even
ball
got to
out.
worry about it. The
We're gonna
ball
run
already gone.
screens. We're gonna run
It's gone.
screens and
We
quick
going we
game
going
all
90
day.
route these boys to death.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
I
Nice
love it.
hmm
short
I love
under
it.
route, slants, hitches. The ball's
hmm
already gone. No big deal.
Yeah,
But
right.
I
some
love it.
OCs, again, they won't do that. You know, they're making this kid look downfield and going through 3 and 4 progressions, and he's getting it. That DN is knocking his head off because you want to be stubborn as an OC.
Right.
There you go. So, no, you guys, this is a lot of information for you guys to get tonight. I mean, Coach is really telling you the different variations of what you may see as athletes. You know, you're going to have to know how to handle being evaluated. You're going to have to know what a coach is looking for in the spring. You know, so Coach, thank you for sharing all of this. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and we're almost done with the show. Coach Mathis has given us so much value tonight, but we are on to the lightning round, you guys. The lightning round is
I'm afraid of this one.
favorite portion of our show, you guys. This is our version of word association. So if you're joining for the first time, I've got a list for Coach Mathis that I think is a pretty good list. He's got 60 seconds. Now, this man was a Blazer in his day when he was on the football field. We're going to see if Coach Mathis still got his speed on this lightning. Okay, so Coach, I don't know where you like to eat in Atlanta, but we don't do this just for fun. We actually got a little dinner on this, okay? So if you can get to 15 or higher in 60 seconds, then it's a dinner on me and Q.
What you mean 15? 15?
Okay.
15 questions.
So I'm going to ask you some either or. I've got some list of some people, and then all you have to do is say the first thing that comes to your mind. That's all you have to do. Okay. All right? Now, don't elaborate. Some of these people may.
I'm not going to elaborate. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, Coach, hey, to sum it up, hey, it's 2-minute drill. We right here.
Okay.
Okay, now here's what I got real quick before we get started. Real quick. Coach, now wait a minute. Who was your quarterback when you were in Atlanta? Was it Jeff George?
I had Jeff George, Chris Chandler.
Okay, stop right there. You had Jeff George, and you talking about you scared of the lightning round. I'd be scared of trying to catch a ball from Jeff George. Matter of fact, hold your hands. Hold on, Coach. Hold your fingers up for me.
No.
Hey, T, I bet one of Coach's fingers pointed like this. Look. I bet he's missing a finger on the other hand.
No, I got the finger on the other hand.
That's what I'd be afraid of. Jeff George can't tell me Jack. I'm cool.
There you go. That's why he
had a Civil War musket.
Wow.
I'm good.
All right, let's hit it. I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right, Coach is ready. All right, Coach. First thing that comes to your mind. We got the stopwatch at zeros for Coach. Okay. And this is the lightning round. All right. Number one, Coach. Number one. First thing that comes to your mind. The University of New Mexico. Go.
Lobos.
Dan Reeves.
Best of all time.
Cheeseburger or chicken sandwich?
Cheeseburger.
Best player you ever played against?
Ooh, Woodson, Rod Woodson.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Skydive or mountain climb?
Mountain climb.
Favorite place to eat in Atlanta?
Ooh, I got quite a few. Oh my goodness. Oh. Let me go downtown. Pascal's.
Pascal, okay.
Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
50 seconds. The SEAC conference.
I missed a part of it. You just said SEAC. It's the SEAC conference.
Yeah.
Morehouse champions.
Travis Hunter.
Woo. First round, number 1 pick.
Good job, Coach.
Right.
We got him on a couple. He said first round, number 1 pick, and then just for the road, got sweet potato pie or peach cobbler, Coach.
Peach cobbler.
All right, Coach, going with the peach cobbler.
You got him with that best he played with, man. That's hard, ain't it, Coach?
That's
which one? We know the best player you played against, because we get guys like you on the show. You didn't see so many killers over the years. Like, damn.
He did, because I was like, God, dog.
That's a
I said,
long
Rod.
list. Right.
I said Woodson, because God, dog, it was just, dude. It was so many, from Troy Vincent to Rod Woodson
Hell,
to
and then you play with Ray.
Ray Buchanan. That was every
Yeah.
day in practice, and it was
Yeah.
just, dude. It was. I was like, oof.
So let's revisit. Let's add them up. Let's add them up. Now, the number was 15. If you guys were wondering, Coach had to get to 15. He
I
gets
didn't get to
one
15.
protect. He gets one protect delay. But let's add them up and let's revisit, because we got some good answers right here. So first and foremost was his old university, University of New Mexico. He says the Lobos. That was number one. Number two, his old coach, Dan Reeves. He says best of all time. Number three, cheeseburger or chicken sandwich. Coach says give me the cheeseburger. Number four, best you've ever played against. This was the one that lost some time for Coach. He says Rod Woodson, Dog Hall of Famer, first ballot. Number five, favorite holiday. Coach is going with Christmas. Number six, the skydive and the mountain climb. Coach says, put me on the mountain. Number seven, favorite place to eat in Atlanta. This was another one that Coach, which is hard in Atlanta, but he said Pascal's downtown. Number eight, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. You said Mike, right, Coach?
Yeah, he said
Yes.
Jordan. He said Jordan. Yeah.
He's going with Michael Jordan right there. Number nine, SEAC Conference. That's their conference. He says Morehouse Championship. Number 10, Travis Hunter, Unicorn, first round, and we'll give him the dessert. He's going with the peach cobbler over the sweet potato pie for 11.
What was the other ones? What was the other ones? What was the next
ones
four?
coming up?
Yeah, what was the next four?
I'll give you the next four. The next four, now keep in mind, first thing that comes to your head, next four were Jamal Anderson, your old running back.
Yeah,
Beast.
Okay. Problem, dude.
The next one after that was favorite cartoon growing up.
The Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
But not. Let me tell you something. It wasn't my favorite cartoon growing up. I was a grown man and used to watch. I had a tradition on Saturdays when I was in college, waking up watching the Smurfs before a game, and I had to watch it.
And you were balling.
That was my thing.
That's crazy.
So,
that was my thing.
Hey, whatever works.
Okay, see, watch, you're gonna have a Morehouse wide receiver looking up the Smurfs tonight. And then crazy. the last one was Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Coach, for joining us. My wife tuned in. She's trying to help you. She said one word answers, Coach. One word answer. So we love it. We love it. So we are on to our last topic. You guys were rocking with the great Terance Mathis. He is now the coach of Morehouse, you guys. He's turning the program around. A lot of young athletes to play for this man, you guys. So this is a good one. We're on to the audience Q&A. If you're with us live, feel free to ask a question in the comment section. But Q, I know you got something for us.
Definitely, Coach. So, we were talking earlier on about you adapting to New Mexico. So transitioning from New Mexico, the question I wanted to ask you is, how did you transition from Albuquerque to a major city when you got in the league? Yeah, man.
New York.
Man. But think about it, Coach. Albuquerque to New York, man.
Hey, man,
how did you stay focused, man?
Let me tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you that was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Is because of the fact that I left one culture to go into another culture that I was familiar with, right? But I was going to a city that you hear all these things about that kind of made me timid, made me afraid a little bit, right? But those 4 years there, I became what I became in Atlanta because of the adversity and not playing a lot and going to practice every day, going against guys like James Hasty. Then Ronnie Lott was with us for a year, and then all those things, being around all these older players, I grew up in a hurry, right? And so when I became a free agent and came to Atlanta, and I just blossomed.
Yeah.
It was just, it was beautiful. Was it tough? It was tough because we were in Long Island, so we didn't get to the city much unless we were riding through,
Yeah.
going to New Jersey for a
Yeah.
game, or we would go to eat whatsoever. But I enjoyed that city, man. I enjoyed my time there. Real quick, funny story. I became a free agent. Pete Carroll became the head coach of the Jets. So,
That's right.
me and Pete had a good relationship. So I thought he was going to sign me back. So he decided not to sign me back. So they signed Art Monk instead of me. So you know the story. I went on and
Yeah.
caught
Yeah.
all these balls, franchise records, and all that here in Atlanta. So in the midst of that, we're playing the next year. Uh, Pete gets fired and he becomes defense coordinator for the 49ers, who was in our division. We played twice. So we go to we go to San Francisco, and I see him before the game, and I give him a big hug whatsoever. Good to see you whatsoever. Hey Pete. Yeah, he said, you having a great career over here in Atlanta. I said, Pete, you should have signed me at New York. I said, so for me to get you back, I says, today I'm gonna whoop your.
Hey, I'm telling you.
I
I'm
said,
telling you.
and I'm gonna prove to you that you should have signed me. I went for about 6 catches, 160 something yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then
Wow.
then after the game, I said, I told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told
You
you.
gotta make them pay.
Well, here's the thing.
Gotta make them pay.
A lot of people, once you get older in the NFL whatsoever, your motivation changes, but some of it stays the same, because I got drafted in the 6th round. I was that guy that I watched 17 receivers get picked in front of me.
Right.
So, I'm upset and
Yeah.
I'm pissed,
Yeah.
right? So then when I become a free agent, I come to Atlanta, and it was still, hey, he can't play every down. He's too small. He's not fast enough, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, right?
BS. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm playing with a chip on my shoulder for 13 years. So, but as you get older, you got to find a reason to get up, and go to training camp, right? So it's one of those things. So something to happen to come on TV that says, "Oh, Terance Mathis lost a step," or the Falcons receiving core is getting old, and this and that. So you go out to prove people, and that's how you play your career. You want to prove people wrong. You find something, you wait for something, for somebody to say something negative, so you go, okay, all right,
Yeah.
I'll show you. Yep.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's what's
Coach,
Yeah.
up.
can we get maybe 4 more minutes? Maybe
Yes.
there's a couple
Yes.
questions. Okay,
Yes.
great. I've got one because you just mentioned kind of being burned a little bit by Pete Carroll on one team, but still being mindful enough and being okay emotionally to go give him a hug. Was that something that was taught to you? To not burn any bridges and be cordial, or was that something that's just your
That's a
spirit?
good question.
Yeah, that was, I said it in jest because I smiled and we laughed about it when I said it. So, first thing I did, I ran over there and hugged him, we lost the game. They won, but, at the end of the day, look, it's just a game, man. It's just a game. And I
But
try,
most players wouldn't be like that,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to think about it. It is different if I went to Atlanta and was sitting on the bench and not doing anything. You see what I'm
Yeah.
what
saying?
you're doing
But
now.
I was having a all pro year, so
Yeah,
it was totally different. So now
Yeah.
you feeling
I'm
good.
with you.
Hey, I'm balling, and so
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
feeling good
showing.
about
Yeah.
this.
I'm
Yeah,
showing.
so we good.
Yeah.
Good point right there.
Yeah.
We got a question from Glenn. How's it going, Glenn? He says, I'm an A&T alum. Should more elite HBCUs leave traditional HBCU conferences to play in the G5 conferences? Great question. Yay or nay? Thoughts on elite NFL players coming to HBCUs to coach as well?
Mm. So the question is, let me
It's a
read that.
two-part.
Yeah. So
The
what?
Mhm.
first
Yeah.
the first part is, should the elite, the better HBCUs, FCS HBCUs go up? And the other part of the question is, how do you feel about NFL players coming back to coach at HBCU?
Well, well, The first part of it is this. I'm not opposed to it, but uh, it takes away from the tradition of HBCUs. You see what I'm saying? There's no more
Yeah.
rivalries. Once you move up, there's no more who you gonna rival with? There's no more
Right.
rivalries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've coached at Savannah State for 2 years. Now I'm here at Morehouse, and that the HBCU games and it's second to not anything. I don't care if, Group 5, Power 4, whatever it is that atmosphere that that on Saturdays is just something special that you got to witness. Now, the second part of it with the NFL, former NFL players
Player.
coaching at HBCUs is it's not the first time that this happened. You have former alumni that's played at HBCUs, that's played in the NFL, that's come back and coached. Doug Williams is for one.
Yeah. Of course.
So, but it's just become uh something special now. Here's the thing, and sometimes you get it from both sides. There's a group of people that said they love it. It's good for HBCUs and HBCU football. And then there's some that says, well, he's not an HBCU guy. He didn't graduate from an HBCU. He doesn't know our traditions. He doesn't know our ways. um but I say to that, is, hey, we can't get jobs anywhere else. We can't. We can't get
Yeah.
jobs like other guys can get jobs.
Yeah.
They retire, and then the next thing you know, they're hired by the team that they just retired from, or
Yeah.
they go to a PWI right away and become a coach. And it takes us years after we retire to even get a job, a
That's
head
true.
coaching job,
That is true.
um, anywhere. So when Dion helped open the doors, Dion Sanders helped open the doors, for us to do this. um, I think it's been great. It's been really, really great. Now, yeah, our mindsets are a little different because of the fact that the last time we were in a locker room pretty much was at the highest level. And
Yeah.
we see things and we vision things that some may think is crazy because it's never been done before. But
Right.
I always say everybody can see, but everybody don't have vision. So we try to, and I try to tell my staff and the players, my vision, so they can help and be on the same road of that vision. And they see it. They're starting to see it. And we just like I said, just changing the atmosphere. We're not trying to change the culture. We're just
Yeah.
trying to change the atmosphere. The culture
Yeah.
is beautiful, but we're just trying to change the atmosphere and add to it a little bit. So that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about us coming to the HBCUs.
That's amazing, Coach. One last thing before I let you go. Obviously, the boys are going to come up and finish spring ball. Are you guys still open to talent for the fall, or are you guys
Oh,
shutting things
We
down?
no, we're always open for talent.
Okay.
The door is always open, and we'll find a way to get you. If you can help us win right now, we're gonna of course we're gonna take a strong look at you. And
Okay.
that's the because here's the thing: we know this. Every campus in America right now, we know after spring is over with, grades come out, you're gonna lose some people academically, you're gonna lose some guys in the portal. It's gonna happen everywhere. So we're gonna always have a spot somewhere. So it just depends on position and need at the time. If we're gonna take someone else.
There you go. All right,
Hey,
you
Coach,
guys.
real
So
quick,
go
real
ahead.
quick. I know Coach got to get out of here. I just wanted to say one thing in regards to what Glenn was asking in regards to thoughts on elite NFL players becoming HBCUs. Glenn, what you're going to start seeing when you have people like Coach Mathis, when you got Eddie George and Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson, this is what's going to change the tide of, these higher ranked 3, 4, 5-star kids, along with, what
Want to come?
it, hey, I want to go play for somebody that looks like me that's been where I'm trying to go.
hmm
Right.
Well, and at the same time, I'm sorry to cut you off. At the same time, it's going to help the HBCUs economically, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
now you're going to get bigger media rights, and
There
then
you
you're going to
go.
get then guess what happens? And then emissions go up, right? Then guess what? Now you start to see newer buildings and
It,
better facilities
yeah.
and all
Yeah.
these things,
Yeah.
and that's the trend that's going to happen in the next 10, from here to the next 10 years, because we want to see growth on the HBCU campuses. So
Yeah.
the alumni can only do so much, right? So if we in athletics, if we put together a product that the nation can see and we're successful, now you start to see, okay, missions going up. Now you starting to see new buildings. You starting to see uh staff salaries go up. You start to see all these wonderful things happening on the campus. Now we're flourishing like the other institutions in America.
Yeah. Yeah. And you young players, please understand, and I know coach will attest, man, if you're a dog and you go to a HBCU and you're playing for a coach that's got connect, that has long arms like Coach Mathis, and you are handling your business in the classroom and you are a bona fide killer, do you think
Yeah.
coach is not gonna, with all the connections that this man has, you not gonna get your shot? Of course you're gonna get your shot. You just do your business, keep your nose clean, go to school and ball. And this man, I would love to see the amount of contacts that Coach Mathis has in his cell phone, and he will stick his neck out there for you to get
Yes.
your shot if he knows
Mention
you
Pete
that good.
Carroll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He will stick
Yeah.
his neck out there for you. If you a bona fide
Good
killer, he
dude.
will stick his neck out there for you and make that call for you.
For sure. For sure.
Period. I had to
For
get
sure.
that
There
off
you
my
go.
chest. I feel
Yeah,
better.
man. Yeah,
All
man.
right. So we're gonna drop the mic right there. The guru told you what you need to do. He told you what you need to do. So Coach Mathis, congratulations. I know you guys got a lot going on. We appreciate your time, and
Yes, man.
we're rooting for Morehouse. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Man.
God bless you
All
guys,
right.
man.
All right, Coach.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. So hey, that's Coach Mathis Q, and he laid it straight. He said that they still looking for dogs, man.
Of
They still
course.
looking for them.
Always, man. But I think that's just one of the hangups of a lot of kids that might be middle of the road. You might not be getting the recruiting that you expected from Power 5 schools. But if you are a dog and you want to play on
Opportunity.
Sundays, you will get your shot through a HBCU, especially playing for dudes like that. Period,
Yeah.
man.
And it's big time D1 and D2 ball available.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's even lower level. There's D3, but it's big time D1, D2 ball. They play in Morehouse. You're right there in Atlanta, Q. Also, we have kids that aren't African American. We have kids that aren't Black. Don't think that just because it's an HBCU that you cannot look into these schools or attend
True.
as well. There are kids that are Polynesian, white, Latin. You saw the kicker from Jackson State that came with Prime, so an opportunity is an opportunity. And this was interesting, Q. He said, I didn't expect this. He said, we're looking for players that want to move up. To move up from Division II to Division I. So, some coaches leave that alone. They don't want you coming to their school if you're looking to possibly leave or use them as leverage. He's saying they're looking for players that want to go higher. So
because coach is looking for a pipeline, T. He's looking for a pipeline. That's because he's still building a program.
It tells me he's conscious of the times too. Like
absolutely.
he's not afraid to do that, to have players that want to make that move. Some coaches won't go that route. They won't recruit you if they know that you may not be there or feel that you may not be there.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
some of you guys, and then that's why I had to ask, is he still looking for talent? He said, we always looking for talent. And really, football industry as we know, is always looking for talent, you guys. So if you got it, we can help you. So, hey, you guys, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share every single week, especially in the off season. There is no excuse not to come and join us in the locker room. We're just bringing you banger after banger. We're bringing you great guest after great guest just to serve you guys so you can ask your questions. If you are looking for recruiting and mentoring support, we also do that with Before You Go Pro. It's not just a locker room show. We have served athletes from across the country for years, and we would love to talk to you if you're somebody, especially in the class of 2025 or 2026, that's still looking for a home. Tons of resources there as well. And then for you athletes that are looking at getting into the NIL game, check out nillllc.org. You need to start a sports business. If you really want to do this NIL thing right, you should be protected, and you should also be thinking entrepreneurially. We're going to help you out at nillllc.org, you guys. So once again, please like, subscribe, share, bring a friend into the locker room next week. We got another great guest for you, and we're going to knock it out the park. Q, anything for the good people before we get out of here, baby?
No, man, just keep working. As I keep saying, that the off season is very, very short. Stay healthy. Again, I always get nervous, coach, when you get to summertime. It's something about two things: hooping and swimming pools. I get real nervous about that with student athletes. Seriously, man. So be mindful if you're going on vacation, whatever it might be. And then it's time to get back to work before you know it, man.
Yeah, hooping, swimming pools, skiing.
Yeah, that scares me as a coach. That scares me, man.
We got to come up with an acronym, and I got to roll because I got a special lady in my house, and it's her birthday tonight. You, the missus. Go. And yeah, the show is off. So, hey, love you guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show. We know you did with the great Terance Mathis. We'll be back next week. We'll see you in the locker room show. Have a good one. See you at the top.